Hey everybody, how you doing? My name is Freddie Humphrey. I'm one of the after party DJs here. What started me down the rabbit hole? It started with when my parents had got divorced. We lived with my mom. My mom was an addict, and she also had mental problems, what we call today co-occurring disorders. And she was an addict herself, but on top of that, she was also very abusive. We hear a lot about men being abusive to women, but we never hear about women being abusive to men. And that was the situation in my household. Finally, my father divorced my mom, and we went to live with my mother. And my mother continued that abuse, with me, and just dereliction of motherhood. But it had to do because of her addiction. Later on in life, I understood my mother and why she was the way she was. And then also, I had been molested as a child, uh, and that right there is what those two things right there is what really set on some trauma in my life. And you'll hear me a lot speak on trauma because it's a lot of things that are deep inside of people that if not addressed, it'll turn, I like to say, to pus, and it will drive you in a negative direction if not dealt with face on. So, but what ended up happening, my father came and got us, me and my two brothers, moved us to Biloxi, Mississippi. My father was in the Air Force. He ended up retiring in Biloxi, Mississippi. Uh, we lived in a great neighborhood. Went to a very fine school, St. Martin. Very beautiful school, very nice people. We all grew up as family, everybody. So I never had an opportunity to deal what was in me as a child. Like, my father basically told us whatever happened back there uh, is over. It's over. So I never got a chance to deal with it. So it stayed inside me. But as growing up, it was fairly normal. Uh, but my gateway drug was cigarettes. And I remember as a good friend of mine, he's passed away now. And we used to go into the woods and we started smoking cigarettes. Then from there, his parents were hippies and my daddy at the time had drank, so I would bring the alcohol to the fort, and he would bring the marijuana roaches at that time before we started getting our own. But and we would be out there smoking marijuana, drinking Southern Comfort, and smoking cigarettes. And for some reason, it made I know for myself, I can't speak for my friend. I know it made me feel. I don't know. It filled some type of a hole that was inside of me. It felt like it filled a hole that was in me, and of course, as time went on from this is like junior high, and then on into high school. Of course, there's more pot smoking, more drinking. Always the parties. I'm a child. I grew up in the '80s, so we did a lot of stuff, not as drastic as it is today, but still, in all, the effects of it was long lasting. I know on me, and I ended up really liking speed. I started taking speed, and it later on in my life, speed came back to bite me in the ass. So. But I went to the or joined the army. Of course, in the army, I got a PhD in drinking and other drugs too, hash and stuff of that nature. A lot more acids and stuff like that, especially when I was in Europe, when I was stationed in Europe. I ended up getting out of the military. And came back to Mississippi. Ended up getting involved in organizations and around people that I shouldn't have. And at that time, also, I got married again. My first marriage, I was very abusive. She had to end up leaving me to save her life. And then I second marriage, and I was the same way, very abusive. and the same for her. She had to end up leaving to save her and my daughter's life. My three daughters that I had with her. So, but as well too is how my life started going downhill. You know, there's something that we say is that rock bottom has a trap door, and I remember the people that I saw is what when I was functioning, when I was a functioning addict, alcoholic. I like to call myself a poly addict because you know my thing just wasn't one thing. It was multiple things that I had to be out of contact with reality, and that ended up being my thing, and also my addiction to Freddie Humphrey, and all the things that God wanted. So, but you know, I ended up constantly, you know, saying that I'm not going to be like that person, and I would hit a rock bottom, and I would go back out, and each time I would go deeper and deeper into the various different levels of hell, and until finally, I ended up catching felonies, and ended up jail, then penitentiary, you know, and stuff like that. And each time saying that, you know, that was it, and it was it, and it was the end, and multiple rehabs, and each time, this is it, this is the end, but never for the right reason, always for somebody else or something else, or just because my black butt got caught. And um, you know, going through that and I look back at it, I also see how my high power had his hand on me all through that hell that I was taking myself as I went down from level to level, level to level of hell, opening trap door after trap door after trap door. And finally, and we'll talk more about my story, but what ended up happening is that I took a lot more hostages, did a lot of more people wrong, and then constantly wronged myself as I went down through this. I took myself deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole, and till finally, I ended up in a place in my life where I was living derelict, and I heard a brother in this thing in this struggle too as well. He said that living derelict, roaming about the earth, serving no purpose, and that was me. I was chronic homeless. Also through this time, we'll talk about it. But I've had multiple heart attacks. I've had 10 heart attacks altogether, but 9 of them were all drug induced, and you know, I had some problems going on now with my heart as well. War wounds, I call them war wounds. But you know, as I got myself into a position to where I was very derelict, very homeless, very soulless, very hopeless, and I was okay with it. I was totally okay with it, and I had got to the point in my life to where as well that I got sick of being around me, but I couldn't separate myself from me. And there was quite a war going on. There was really a war going on. And after 26 years in that thing, uh, I really understood the desperation of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, because there is a level that hopefully everybody will reach to where they will get, why am I doing this? So much so for myself, I was getting high and wasn't getting high, if that makes sense to anybody out there. But and then of course, I was blessed to end up going to rehab. I was in rehab for 2.5 years. That's a long time. But in that, I allowed my higher power to make shape and mold me into a vessel of use, into something useful, into myself. And it's been a beautiful ride. But more so, I am so glad that all the things that I've done in my journey and my higher powers allowed me to survive is now a major tool in the helping other people just like me. So you'll hear more about the story. Man, come on the dance floor with us at the after party. And me, Gene, and Sherry, We are your DJs, and we're gonna be jamming for y'all. As long what we're trying to do is not only help y'all. We don't have all the answers, but we want a forum, and we're starting a forum where any and everybody that has needs help or wants to talk about something, man, get that stuff about you, that pus. Or sometimes we might want to talk about something and get some pus out of us, that we come together as a community, as I almost said discotheque, but I ain't gonna say that. But disco's coming back. But that we all can come together and jam to one rhythm, and that's the rhythm of life, and loving life, and living life, and stop living death. Today I choose life over death. So please, y'all, come out and join us. Man, I guarantee you it'll be worth your time. And more so, you get the groove with us. And I hope to see you on the dance floor.